Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my Bloodborne Platinum Trophy guide. My name is Drago, and as you can see today we're starting off on the first floor of the lecture building, and we're going to go ahead and explore Nightmare Frontier. Nightmare Frontier can be accessed by walking out of the double doors all the way at the end of the first floor of the lecture building. So when you get into this area, some of the things that I do recommend having on is the rune that increases the frenzy resistance, as well as a rune that increases slow poison resistance. And make sure you have antidote and sedatives equipped, simply because in this area there are enemies like the night lanterns or the winter lanterns that do inflict frenzy, as well as poison swamp filled with enemies that increase slow poison and rapid poison. So having antidote is extremely helpful. Now, as far as the enemies go, this area is not as difficult as the Nightmare of Menses. Go ahead and pick some items up in the beginning here. The reason why I do this area last simply is because there's a lot of shit kind of to worry about. Such as frenzy and slow poison, as well as rapid poison, but it's not as difficult. Also, you'll find a lot of wandering nightmares in this area, so it's a good place to get some upgrade materials like bloodstone shards and twin bloodstone shards. Also, you might have noticed that there's a sinister bell maiden in this area, and unless you are actively trying to PvP, you might want to silence her first. Now, these hunters, there are a couple of NPC hunters in this area. They're not particularly difficult, especially if you come here like I did after doing the Nightmare of Menses first and getting all the good gems. They shouldn't provide to be too big of a challenge for you. As you can see right here, I was able to dispose of both of them pretty quick. So now, before we do anything else, I want to go ahead and take out the Bell Maiden. And you get to her by walking to the Poison Swamp and then taking a little cave pathway to the right. And there she goes. Now, with this done, we really don't have to worry about invasions. So, first what we're gonna do is before we do any boss fights, let's just go ahead and pick up some items. There's gonna be 5 runes in total that you want to pick up around this area. One of them can be picked up immediately after taking out the Bell Maiden by just walking on the opposite side. You'll see a little mountain pass here, and just follow this pathway all the way to the top, and you should pick up a Fading Lake rune. I believe this rune increases fire defense. Let's go ahead and check. Yep, it reduces fire damage by 5%. So you'll take 5% less fire damage if you have this rune on. Once you've picked that up, go ahead and take this little pathway down, but watch out for this werewolf. He will attack you as soon as you come into this underground passageway. And here you'll encounter some of these giant enemies that will be throwing rocks at you. Try not to get hit because these rock throwers, they do tremendous damage. Depending on your health, they might be able to kill you in one hit. So I'm gonna try to go ahead and dispose of them as soon as possible. And they can hit you from across quite a distance, so do beware. Pick up some more lead elixirs. And I'm gonna go ahead and take out this guy on the other side. And he does pack quite a punch even when he does his regular attacks. Some bolt paper in the corner here. And I just want to make sure I've picked up all the items here. Oh, almost missed one on this ledge. Cold Blood Flower Bud. These are Chalice Dungeon materials. I think there's a total of 4 of them that you can pick up in this area. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I collect those as well. And now we'll go ahead and we get out of this area by following this little pathway to the left. And this one will get us to a shortcut of sorts. And now we appear kind of near the first lantern area. And we'll also be able to access this bridge at any point now that we've knocked over this stone. Alright, I just wanted to make sure I'm not missing anything here. And now I can go ahead and cross the bridge. Like I mentioned before, plenty of these wandering nightmares that drop shards and twin bloodstone shards, and there will be one actually that will drop bloodstone chunks for us as well. Pick up another cold blood flower bud. And here, make sure you take a pathway to the right, because there will be a Clockwise Metamorphosis rune that gives you 10% increase to health. And picking up a stunning deep sea rune here. Let's check out what it does. Increases rapid poison resistance by 200. Not bad. I got enough attack rating after putting up all the gems that I found in Nightmare of Menses, where I really don't need to worry about any of these octopus-like enemies, simply because I'm able to one-shot the smaller ones quite easily. And now once you're right here, this is on the other end of the swamp. You saw it earlier when we went to kill the Sinister Bell Maiden. And now I'm gonna, once I've killed this Water Nightmare, I'm gonna go ahead and run towards this giant. Notice that there is another one on top, and we actually want to go there, so I'm gonna go ahead and make a run for this giant. And I'm gonna try to traverse this lake without getting poisoned, hopefully. See if it's gonna be possible. I was able to make it. Try to get poisoned as less as possible, simply because there will be a few instances where you'll absolutely get poison inflicted on you. And once you take out this giant, make sure you pick up the rune located on this mountain here. It's a Clear Deep Sea. Adds slow poison resistance, so it's better than the one that we actually have. Whoa, easy there, fella. I'll be popping antidote here like a drug addict. Picking up a couple of these skull flower buds. And this poisonous swamp is actually, not only does it poison you, but it drains your stamina a lot faster as well. So once I'm done, I've picked up a few antidotes here as well, so now I'm just going to go ahead and try to get on some solid ground so I don't get poisoned anymore. Okay, and now I'm going to clear from this part of the poison swamp. And as I mentioned before, there are winter lanterns that inflict frenzy. You'll notice that they're considerably weaker than the ones that we fought in the Nightmare of Menses. But it's still useful to have sedatives. And here's the Wandering Nightmare that drops a couple of bloodstone chunks. And that's the only enemy that drops bloodstone chunks in this area, so the other ones will drop either bloodstone shards or twin bloodstone shards. All in all, I gotta say that Nightmare Frontier is probably my least favorite area in this game, and it doesn't have anything to do with the difficulty of it. It's not that bad, or the enemies in there. It's got a good variety of enemies, but in general, I just don't like the way this area looks. It's kind of tough to get through this area in the sense that a lot of the environments kind of look the same. So when you play through this area the first couple of times, it's very difficult to kind of orientate yourself, I guess, or position yourself in this area, simply because it's really grayish and it's very easy to forget like where to go, so, or get lost in this area as well. So here we're gonna go ahead and try to get to the shortcut. It's located at the top of this hill, and this will take us all the way to the lantern in the beginning of the area. I'm gonna go ahead and take it down. There's actually an item that you pick up in the beginning of the area too. It's one of the hunter's tools, but I'll wait till the very end to pick it up, simply because it requires us going through a large poison swamp. So I'll wait till the end, once I beat Amygdala, who's the boss of this area. And so far we're doing pretty good on vials and antidotes, so I'm not worried. I think I'll have enough to clear out the area and pick up all the items I need. Alright, and as you might have guessed, we gotta go into this poison swamp here. Couple of items we need to pick up in here still, so. As far as armor for this area, I prefer the Yarnum Hunter armor, simply because it's pretty good for slow poison resistance, and it's got decent frenzy resistance as well. Ah! These pounce attacks are sure pretty annoying. Okay, here's the Great Deep Sea, which gives you 5% reduction to any type of damage. And now we've picked up pretty much everything in this area, so I'm gonna go ahead and kill Amygdala before we pick up that hunter's tool that I was telling you guys about. It's a pretty easy boss fight at this point. Again, since I prefer to do this area last, I have enough gems where basically all the enemies here become trivial. And this boss fight is fairly easy. The best way to do damage against her is to aim for her head. You can bait these stomping attacks and wait for her to drop down her head. After that, if you hit her in the head a few times, you will stun her, which will allow you to do the visceral attack. And make sure that you watch out for this laser. It actually does a lot of damage. When she goes to about quarter health, she will rip off two of her arms, and it will get a little bit tougher because she's gonna use this jump and attack a lot. So the easiest way to do it is to just kind of chase the tail and try to stay behind her. If you stay directly at the tip of her tail, she will most of the time she'll use the jump and attack and end up jumping forward most of the time. So you'll be clear out of the way of that jump attack. If you stay too close to her legs, she'll actually try to stomp you. And the reason why I like this tactic is because it will come in handy later on when you do the Defiled Chalice, and this boss will pop up again, but she will be way tougher. So, and this tactic makes this fight really easy. So I recommend you learn it now. And here we go. Amygdala is dead. Upon her defeat, you will get an Alien Laurent Chalice. And now that we've defeated Amygdala, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up Messenger's Gift. This is the last spell in the game that we have to pick up. In order to get it, I recommend just backtracking a little bit and taking the shortcut that we opened up a little while ago. And this brings us to the very beginning of the level. Once you walk out here, you'll notice that there's a swamp directly underneath, and you can actually drop down here. And that's what we'll go ahead and do. There will be plenty of these wandering nightmares, so if you feel like it, you can always come back here and farm them for some bloodstone shards and twin bloodstone shards. And here I'm just gonna go ahead and run past most of the enemies here. And you'll notice there's going to be another one of these winter lanterns. Go ahead and kill it. And all the way at the end, there will be Messenger's Gift, a spell that turns you into a messenger. Good way to mess around with people. Now, we've picked up everything in this level, defeated the boss, so This area is basically cleared, so I'm gonna stop here. In the meantime, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.